WWDC was a few days ago now, and we've had some time to sit with the announcements. So I think it's time we talk about the big ones we got. So to start off, we got a new MacBook Air 15 inches. So it has the M2 chip. It has the same design as the M2 13-inch MacBook Air. It comes in midnight silver, space gray, and starlight. Then after that, Apple actually announced a new Mac Studio with the M2 Ultra chip, as well as finally the Mac Pro with an M2 chip and expandable storage, which is one thing the Mac Pro does really good, is how accessible and how expansionable it is. So if you want to make something, if you want to change out a port or something like that, you can upgrade the computer need be. After all this, we got into the software. So we got iOS, macOS, watchOS, iPadOS, TV and HomePod softwares, updates, some AirPod software updates, as well as a brand new one, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So to start off, we have iOS 17. So iOS 17 brought some quality of life improvements, such as name drop. So this is hands down one of my favorite new improvements and features, and it comes to watchOS as well, as it'll allow you to take your iPhone and just essentially tap it to someone else's or tap it to their Apple Watch to share your contact information. So you don't have to hand someone your phone, let them share their contact, and then you don't have a picture, and if you want to send over a picture, or maybe they didn't set up the sharing, it eliminates all that. You just have your phone and watch together, or phone together, and you can share all your contact information. Next up, we got a new call screen. So when someone calls you and you have an incoming call, it can be totally redesigned to like how the iOS 16 lock screen is. So you have the option to put an emoji, a monogram, a picture of yourself, as well as customize the text. And this will also be shared over if you use name drop or through the iMessages app when you're sharing your name and photo. You also, for the first time, got live voicemail. So this is almost like a screening feature. So it'll allow someone, as someone's leaving a voicemail in real time, your iPhone will kind of show you what they're saying. So if it is important, you can answer it while they're leaving that voicemail. We also finally got smarter autocorrect. So this is something I feel like we've been waiting on for a while, as Apple's autocorrect, if you've used an iPhone, you know, is kind of a mess. And this autocorrect is so much better now because it'll learn from you and it'll kind of like underline the word, and if you want to just change it, it's a quick tap back instead of fighting with it. Whereas now if you type "were," like "we're going to the beach," it'll put in the other "were" because it thinks that's the one you're talking about, and then you're kind of sitting there fighting with your phone, which isn't what we want. Now, Apple did also release some new messages features. So they redesigned the iMessage app entirely. So where your app store goes. So it's now in a plus sign and all your apps are there. So you can have your camera, your check-ins and all that. And then you swipe up and you have access to all of your iMessages. We did also get a new feature called check-in. So this allows you to let your friends or family members know when you may have arrived, or you haven't arrived and you're kind of stuck in traffic. It'll let them know all this instead of being like, hey, let me know when you're home. We did also get offline maps. So offline maps is something that was also brought to watchOS, and it'll allow you to take a section of the map and save it to your iPhone, and it'll automatically update as new version of the map comes out when you're connected to software. Now with FaceTime. You can have the ability for the first time ever to leave a FaceTime voicemail, which is something I think is pretty cool because whenever you FaceTime someone, you then have to kind of text them like a follow-up message if you want to like leave them a message, which is something I've never understood. But now we finally have the ability to leave a message when they call, and you can play that on any Apple Watch or iPhone. And then we got standby. So if your iPhone's in landscape mode on a MagSafe dock or a charger, it'll turn into really whatever you want. So it can be a clock, it can be a calendar, or a music player. It's kind of like a home hub, which I think Apple might be using kind of to segue into a new device maybe coming soon, maybe a new HomePod, but we'll have to see how that comes. We also got interactive widgets, which is something we were waiting on for a while. There is a new journal app coming out, which was rumored, so this will allow you to save your data and kind of what makes you feeling this way, what happened through your day, and this ties into the new mental health tracking they have. And those are the big set features for iOS 17. So now, let's kick it over to watchOS 10. So watchOS 10 redesigned how the Apple Watch interface works, and this is something that I personally am a big fan of. So we have a lot of new features. So apps have been completely redesigned from the ground up. So they take advantage of the 41, 45, 49 millimeter screen of the Apple Watch. And if you have a Series 4 or later, it is compatible. So if you have a 40 or 44 millimeter, don't worry, you're still covered and you will get these gorgeously redesigned apps. And personally, they look so good. Now, we did also kind of lose something, but we gained some other features. So to activate the control center, you now press your side button, which is the lower button on the side instead of your dock. But Apple brought over Smart Stack and widgets. So the interface is still the same. When you click the digital crown, it'll still bring you to your honeycomb view of apps. Although now, instead of being endlessly kind of rows on rows on rows of apps, Apple has now limited it to 3 or 4 apps, and it goes 3, 4, 3, 4, and it kind of switches off and is scrollable, which I think is so much more controlled and manageable. But now, if you're on your home screen, where your watch face is with the clock and all of that, you can now get all of this information if you just turn your digital crown. So it'll bring up your Smart Stack, and you can customize the Smart Stack to be truly however you want. We also got some new cycling features, such as a live activity on your iPhone. So if you have your iPhone mounted to an electric bike or something like that, or just your bike, you can now view all of your metric data as a live activity. Just tap on it and it'll open a whole new interface on your iPhone, which is pretty cool. There is also a new view in the Compass app, so this will allow you to take a 3D view of everything. So if you are kind of walking around in the woods or forest, it'll allow you to see that and kind of see how far back the last time you had service was and the last time you were to make an SOS call. We also got a topographical map to show you mountains, valleys, and lakes, as well as we got that mental health tracking feature brought over to your Apple Watch as well as daylight tracking. So if you're outside not enough, it'll let you know that, as Apple wants to help combat vision damage such as myopia. There was also some added features to Fitness Plus, such as allowing you to make your own workout plan, as well as some stacks to stack workouts back to back. And those were the big hitters for watchOS. Now, iPadOS shares a majority of the same features from iOS 17 as I listed before, but we get a few of the lock screen customizations that we did not get with iPadOS 16. So now we have the lock screen customization and the ability to fully redesign your lock screen to your choosing. And widgets are back on the iPad. Now, we also get the Health app, so it'll allow you to see all of your Health app on the canvas. Now, when Apple was introducing the Health app, they were introducing it in a way that they were like, this is an app we've never had before on the iPad, and I was like, it's going to be Calculator. Still don't have a Calculator app. Cannot tell you why. But maybe one of these days, maybe iPadOS 18? I don't know. I know what you guys know right now. We all know the same thing. But everything else is really brought over from iOS 17. macOS Sonoma. So these brought a majority of decent improvements to the Macs. So we got these new screensavers from similar to that of the Arial ones on Apple TV. They are now on your Mac. We also have the ability to place iPhone widgets on our Mac desktop. So if you have some third-party apps, you can go ahead and place them right on your desktop. There are some new video conferencing features, so if you're using FaceTime or Zoom. I do think these are a little late, though, so you have the ability to kind of make yourself look like you're in a conference room and have your content floating behind you, or kind of put yourself in a bubble and move yourself around. And you can also do some cool reactions. So if you do a thumbs up, it'll do a celebration. If you make a heart with your hands, it'll send out the heart balloons, similar to how it works with iMessages and their effects. But I do think Apple was a little late to the game with this. But I will take them, because they are also on iOS and iPadOS FaceTimes. And then the rest of those macOS features were just features that have been brought over from iOS, like the better autocorrect, the new messages features, and all those have just been brought right over. Now, the new big thing that really we were expecting, but kind of left everyone wondering, I don't think we're going to see this today, was Apple Vision Pro. So this is Apple's AR/VR headset, and the initial impressions seem to be pretty cool. So it's not coming out until early 2024, which is something I think seems to be a good decision on Apple's part. I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into AirPower, which was Apple's charging mat that would allow you to put your iPhone, Apple Watch, and AirPods all on the charging mat, and they would charge. We never saw that, and instead we got the MagSafe Duo, which I am more than happy with, but Apple did actually announce this and then cancel it which is something that if it made it to market, I think would have been a great sell, and a lot of people would have it. So the main delay for Vision Pro seems to be Apple's big feature called eyesight. So this will essentially allow, if someone walks in a frame, it'll essentially allow your eyes to shine through. But right now it doesn't seem to be working, as the demos that have been on the news through Good Morning America, as well as content creators. So content creators actually weren't allowed to film their hands on, which is something Apple doesn't usually do unless there's kind of a feature they don't want that isn't perfect and not getting out. So when I found out it might be because of eyesight, I thought it makes a lot of sense. So Vision Pro runs on a new software called Vision OS. It was going to be called XROS, which I just think was way too complicated, and I'm very happy Apple went with Vision OS. So this allows you to take your environment that you're sitting in when you're wearing this headset, and everything is there. So you have access to some apps. So Apple said basically every app you have available on your iPhone and iPad is going to have an option to be on Vision OS. It is totally up to the app developer, though, if they want their app on Vision OS. So when you're wearing this headset, you can have your shows go up to, I think they said, 100 feet, which is huge. So you can have a giant flat screen in front of you, which is almost theater view, and then you can click a button and you could be fully immersed like you're watching in a movie theater, which I think is pretty cool. Now, it does have a price tag of $3,599, which I do think is a lot. But, hey, it's a first-gen product. We're going to have to see how it plays out. Now, it also allows you to place apps wherever you like. So you can place these apps wherever you want, as you can have one in front of you and then two off to the side, and then as you look, they'll follow. And then if someone walks into frame or out of frame, it'll allow them to blend in or out. And also it has a 3D motion capture camera. So if you want to take a video, you can take a video and it'll be taken in 3D. So when you watch it back, it'll be like a fully immersive experience, which is pretty cool. But is that going to be on the iPhone 15? Because I feel like a majority of people aren't going to want to take these pictures while wearing a giant headset on their head. Now, there is also FaceTime built in. So initially, the Vision Pro will take a scan of your face and then kind of make you a digital avatar. So when you're using it while you're on FaceTime, the other people won't see you wearing the Vision Pro. They'll see you reacting and how your emotions and all of that, which is a little cool, but kind of sci-fi, almost like Ready Player One type thing. And that was really it from Apple's WWDC. And that was really it from Apple's WWDC. So we got a lot of things, as you can tell, and I know I am very excited for these new softwares come September or October, as macOS usually tends to be a little later. But I want to know, what was your favorite thing that was announced from the event? Let me know with a comment below. And while you're down there, if you want to hit the like or subscribe button, I'd really appreciate that, as it lets me know you enjoy the content that I'm producing. And I want you to remember, today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.